Well, hello again, YouTube. This is part 3 of the Slog settlement build. I'm going to see about creating a vault and adding some power. Depending on how much time I have, I might start lighting the place. I may build a greenhouse on top. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Probably not going to spend more than 45 minutes or so on this particular video. Okay, another question I ask myself is where am I going to build my vault? Because I usually build it right underneath the settlement, usually right next to the stairs. But this is a little different since I have a pool underneath. I'm also thinking about taking out these floor grates here and just running the pillars all the way down. I'd also thought about building the vault in here. I guess it would be okay
Inside, we ghouls aren't so different from everyone else.
because my perimeter is going to run out to here, obviously. I usually like to keep it kind of close to the settlement, but in some cases that isn't always possible. And when I establish a perimeter, I usually just build a wire fence, usually out about here, so that way the turrets have a chance to hit the enemy. Because all the fence does is just, it doesn't necessarily keep them from the compound, it just kind of prevents them from rushing it. At least that's while you're here. If you get attacked while you're not here, then it's just a matter of numbers.
Yes.
Which I don't really care for that. It just calculates numbers and determines whether or not your settlement succeeded in defending itself. Alright, so where am I going to put the vault? I wonder if I could just put it out here. Well, oops. Oh, hi. Welcome to the Windows key. Something I wish either Steam or Microsoft would let me do something about. I'd like to use upper cement floors because the nice thing about these is, I'll show you real quick. You can sink things into them. And you can't really sink things into most other floors, but these upper floors you can. So, except where the crease is, obviously. So what I'm going to try and build here is a vault. I think I usually have someplace where I like to keep all my, stuff. And we're being attacked in the middle of a build. Isn't that just so typical every time I go to do a video?
Gonna be a good fight!
Well, that was quick. Anyways, like I was saying about establishing a perimeter, I did that with Somerville's place. I just put a fence here. And it keeps a couple of them out. I mean, some of them still spawn, like, right in the garden, which I find particularly annoying. I imagine if I ever rebuild this place, I'll put the garden up high. That's why I like having my compounds up high, because even if they spawn in the middle, they're not, they don't make anybody vulnerable to anything. Oh. I think they broke a corn. And usually when I get attacked at a settlement, it comes in pairs, so I'm just wondering who's going to be next. I'm not crazy about building in the dark, although sometimes I'll get so into what I'm doing I'll forget it's dark. Okay, so this is... Normally when I build these vaults, the walls get set just outside the floor slab, not inside, so we'll see how this goes. Actually, just out of curiosity, I want to see if this will set outside. Yes, it does. All right. I'm going to go ahead and try the inside. Just because it rarely ever happens. Well, that's one confused wall. Yeah, this one's set on the outside. So... that one wants to sit on the inside. You know, I'm just going to leave that out. And I'm just probably going to remove all of these. And just run the pillars down into the pool. And I'll probably put some pillars underneath the vault structure. I don't know if that's going to work or not. There's one thing I have to do is put in a door. Yeah, this is what I was worried about. These walls being set inside the slabs instead of outside is causing a problem with the roof. So, well, I'm not being asked to defend the checkpoint, so. Okay, I'm not going to do that yet. So, I'm going to put the vault here. I like to put it straight inside the door. It's too far away. Okay. Just want to check the shelf width real quick here. I think that's good. Yeah, I just like to set it up so settlers can't spawn inside this closet So that's where I keep all my stuff. And they do have a tendency to take things if you don't keep it, you know, closed off really well. Since they can't use electrical switches to open electrical doors, then it's usually a pretty safe place to put things. If the generator's going over here, I probably should put in an upper floor like that. Yeah, this is the problem. Let me see. If I take this out, will it go back? Yeah, it will. No, it's a roof. It's a floor, but it's a roof. So, I don't like that. I guess I'd just do the whole thing as a double upper floor. Looks good. All right. See if a wall will drop in there. It looks like it will. Good. Okay, so that's it for the vault structure. Now I'm going to do something called Wi-Fi glitching, or Wi-Fi power glitching. It's something that there's a channel on YouTube called the Schooled Zone, spelled with a K, and he has some excellent tutorials on building, especially using unique techniques to get things done. And I learned quite a bit from him as far as doing strange things. So I recommend his channel if you're serious about building and want to learn how to do stuff that you normally can't do. Okay, so I believe the way Wi-Fi glitching works is you need some conduits, and I usually set up a primary conduit somewhere. know what I should do? Usually I'll make the primary conduit Wi-Fi, but I've been noticing that the more you use Wi-Fi glitching, the more your settlement will, your game will crash when you try making serious changes to your settlement. So you kind of got to use it sparingly. There's two glitches you can use. One's called a true wire glitch, and the other one's called the Wi-Fi glitch. And I'm going to see if I can at least get a true wire glitch going for this generator. Alright. Alright. So the problem I'm dealing with is the terminals inside another object, so you actually can't connect it to anything because it's detecting a collision for the wire. So you use the true wire glitch, and you can go through objects. It's really good for stringing wires in unusual positions through things. Let me show you again how I did that. Take the wire out. Just for the sake of testing, I want to set up a workshop light. Make sure this is unpowered. Oh, it's powered. Oops. So that's the wireless glitch actually, but I didn't really explain what I was doing, so let me get rid of that. Put up another one. Make sure this is unpowered. Yes, it is. Get that connected. Okay, yeah, let me explain this. So what I've got right now is how the wire's focused. It says up there on the upper right, wire, power conduit to power conduit. That's focused, but the reticle, or my little dot in the middle, I'm going to put on the conduit, not the wire. So I put it on the conduit, and then I activate it, and then I keep the thing focused. I don't know if I need to do that. Let me see. Oh, no, you don't. Okay, so true wire glitch. The second item you need to highlight, and that's a true wire glitch. But when you start your connection, your wire needs to be focused, and then you select your power, your point 1, and then you can select any point 2, like the generator itself, and it works. So this should be powered. Hook it up. Yeah. That's not Wi-Fi, which means if I pull this wire and then hook this up again, yeah, no power. And that's kind of what I want, because the game is less confused with true wire than it is with Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi glitch is a little different, and I'll show you that later when I set up, when I create some conduits for other parts of the compound. But for right now, I'm just going to true wire this generator. Okay, select the wire, point at the conduit, select it, then point at the generator, select it. Then I got to hit tab because it's still in wire activation mode. So I got to hit tab, get out of that. I can pull this wire out, and I have my primary conduit. Now you got to put it where you want it, because see how it's running into the ceiling like that? If you try to move it, you can't, because it's detecting a collision with the wire, so it's stuck there unless I redo all that, but I'm not going to. Alright, so now that I've got a primary conduit set up, I can probably do a couple more, just so I'll put one on this side. I think I'll put one on this wall because I always have a computer terminal there, and I'll put one over here because I'll have some lights. Let's see, I'm trying to determine if I want to. Okay, well, let's just start with this one. Put it in the corner. Move this out a little bit. Connect it. All right. I don't know what this is going to look like, if it'll even run that far. Yes, it will. I'm just going to do that, yeah. The less Wi-Fi, the better. Now, there's one thing I set up. The door switches. Those use NAND gates. So let's get into those. Right now I'm just using one, so I'm just going to put it over here. I'm going to need a conduit right here, I think. Put it up there. Let's see if I can run it to here. Yes, I can. I need to power the switch. Okay, switch has power. Now from this switch to... Oh, this is the wrong gate. Let me swap that out. I need that one. Okay, so there's one switch. I need another one. Now, usually I'll put a couple of conduits next to the gate, NAND gate here, and Wi-Fi glitch it from the... Wi-Fi glitch the switches and the conduits, because you can't directly Wi-Fi glitch a NAND gate. It crashes the game every time. And it looks really nice. You don't have all these wires everywhere, but you're asking for it the more you Wi-Fi glitch stuff. So let's see. So I got to focus on a wire and put my reticle on the conduit, select it, and activate this there. So now I've got two switches. No. Move this conduit out here. Just move it way out here. On the switch. Okay. Got the wire highlighted, switch pointed at. Let's try that. And then the other side of the input side of the NAND gate. Awesome. Alright. So now I've got a switch that works from both sides. So I'll just leave that open. Oh, just for a bit of personal build history. I was never really, I had no idea what these switches, these gates did until, that was the first reason I ran into the school zone. I was just browsing Fallout videos, and he had a video that discusses these in depth and shows you how to use them to set up switches like this, and I thought that was pretty cool. Alright, now I need some power to this door, and this door is in backwards. Rats. Can I turn around? Yes, I can. Good. Alright, so... put that here. Just run an under conduit up here. From there to there. There to there. There to there. Alright. There's a switch for the door. Move over a little bit. Okay. Okay, now the shelves. A little trick I learned with those. See if I can find a place around here that's somewhat elevated. Yeah, right here. That's good. I've watched a video or two on putting containers on shelves, and the problem is always setting stuff on the lower shelves. And I discovered the trick is to just set the shelf up high to begin with. Because if you're not using a PC, you can't use the, there's a trick I use, TCL, which turns collision off, and you can go everywhere. I mean, you can just pretty much anywhere. And that's just one way you can put shelves or put containers anywhere on a shelf, but I try to avoid doing that. And if you have a game console, you usually don't have access to commands like this. So what I do is my favorite Vault-Tec shelf. Put it up here. And then go to containers and always put yellow boxes on this shelf. Turn it around so that way it latches in front. Okay, there's that. And then the green foot lockers I put here. Turn those around so the latch is up front. And then at the very top, I put these toolboxes. I mean, I could put anything in these, you know, so it really doesn't matter what kind of shelf you have or what kind of container you have. I just do it for looks. Okay, so there's all the items on my shelf, and then I grab the shelf. And try to set it so there's as little room as possible. I hope that'll work. Only time will tell. I've had one settler, because I put in too much space between the front of the shelf and the door. They actually spawned inside the closet. They were like clipping through the door. Okay, and then I like to put metal containers on the very bottom. There. I have some place to put all my stuff. I organize it too. Weapons one side, armor the other. These are spares I just use for stuff, and then the green ones I always put the legendary stuff that I find on legendary enemies. Up here I put aid stuff, and over here extras like stealth boys and other important little things that I like to keep separate. And then it's a very pretty looking desk. I don't want pretty, I want ugly actually. Nice, beat up, worn. I don't think they have an ugly desk that I like. Well, I guess I'm stuck with that. Alright. Yeah, I like a small desk over here. I store personal things in there. Stuff I don't know what to do with. There's stuff I want to take back to Kingsport. I don't think I've ever showed you Kingsport. No, I know I haven't. And it's a personal settlement I build. I mean, you get a home in Diamond City where you can, just build your own, have your own place, but I don't really like it. Let me drop down my computer terminal. I usually start with this one so I could, check on the settlers, see what they're up to. And as you add items, you have control here as well, as opposed to a standard terminal, which only gives you switch control or whatever else you happen to have hooked up to your settlement. This gives me some information about the settlers here, like locational overview. I have 6 farmers and nothing else. So as I add more posts, like a trade shop and bar and guard posts, I'll have more positions available. The thing that I noticed though is this is the overseer's terminal. Is sometimes it'll glitch and suddenly you won't have access to the switches and other items in the settlement, so you have to set down a standard terminal to access those things. So in most of my settlements, if you've seen any, you'll see I have 2 terminals, the overseer's terminal and a standard terminal for accessing other stuff. Alright. That's done. The only thing I want in here now is power armor station. Alright. Oh, I need lighting. I really forgot about that. I usually put it in here first in the closet. Good. Alright, yeah, it's a good spot. Okay. And out here, I really like fluorescent lights, but their lighting is so low, And for those who don't know, track lighting works off of radiant energy from conduits you have. I don't have to run wires to them as long as there's a nearby conduit that's powered. And then I like to have one little light over here. Just so I can see. And then I always put one outside the door. Now that I have that built, I can take my fast travel mat. And this fast travel mat, I think it's under resources, miscellaneous. This determines where you show up when you fast travel to a settlement. So I'll just put it here, so I'll show up right here. So I don't spend a whole lot of time in settlements. I don't have to. I just, if it's nearby, I'll just run in and do what I need to do in here and then leave. All right. Looks good. Now I can take all the junk I have in the workshop and store it in the chest, so that way the settlers can't nab it. Now I should probably make this look like it's actually being supported. What's that? Oh. Okay, great. As long as I'm thinking about it, go ahead and save everything. Let's take a quick tour of Kingsport so you guys can see what I built over there. There's a guy who does a lot of Fallout videos, a lot of information on Fallout 4 if you want to check his channel out. His channel name, or at least his username, is Oxhorn. And he goes into a lot of history about stuff, not just Fallout 4, but Fallout 3, all the way back to the original Fallout. So if there's a lot of information you're looking for, or you want to know about a few mysteries which you don't know about, he's probably got it filed in one of his videos somewhere. Okay, this is Kingsport. Here's my fast travel map. That's why I showed up at the top of the lighthouse. And I'm going to start at the bottom. I want you to notice the number. I put these numbers on the switches on this particular settlement. There's no people here. I didn't set up a recruitment beacon or anything. The only thing I did was I built a giant robot, named it Tank, and maxed out his ability as much as I could. I wish I could have put missile launchers on there, but they didn't have the option for it. So I got these mortars that he launches. You see on his back here.
This unit is ready to serve.
Huh. Actually, I'll be back later.
Confirmed.
Yeah, he does a pretty good job of taking out anybody who wants to attack. And I'll bet dimes to dollars that's my provisioner being attacked. Yeah. What is that, a bug? Oh, as long as we're heading back, you can get a nice view of my settlement. And this is just, I consider this my home. Well, the reason I brought up Oxhorn is because he built his settlement, his personal settlement here. His is populated, and it's much more extensive than this, but I just wanted something simple for me with a nice view. So once I took the place over, I just started building out from the top. I have a video about this, an earlier video I posted for Fallout. It was actually a lot bigger, and I shrunk it down because it was so big it was actually extending out past the settlement boundary, and I had to create an angle on the corner, and it was just giving me a lot of problems. So I tore everything out and started all over again. It's that way. I built it in such a way I didn't have to glitch much, because I was having to glitch too much to get it to look right. So I took it out. I kind of like the way it looks. It reminds me of something you see, and I don't know if you've played Half-Life 2, but I like the pillars and the turrets right there. And underneath everything right there is my workshops. I'll head on up there now. I haven't put an elevator in. I mean, I could. I'd have to be 2 elevators actually if I wanted to use it. But the problem with the Bethesda's elevators is they got a problem where after so many times the buttons that you use to control the elevator start to float away. It's like, I don't want to deal with that, so I just went ahead and put my fast travel mat right here. And I'll just suffer walking up and down the stairs. Okay, so this is the workshop. I wanted to create kind of an opening here, so because I almost always get attacked from over there, right over there. But I really have to do much. The turrets take care of it, and tank takes care of anything else, so that works pretty well. Again, here's my my storage shelf. I got a couple extra shelves for power armor stuff and really large weapons. This is my first Exo-1 armor that I had. I added a jetpack to it, but I'm not real crazy about the jetpack. I didn't want to use the mod that gives you unlimited use of the jetpack, so I just found it wasn't really worth having. I'd rather use something else. So, but I got another set of power armor I've been using. I think I left it over at Nuka World. Okay, down here. Oh, remember how I told you to pay attention to the numbers? That's because I must have forgot to put a light. No, there's a light. These are numbered for each of the doors. So the switch next to each door, there's a corresponding number. So I know, which door's open. Like door number 1 is open right now because the output side is lit. Here's the generator. Down here, I built this. This wasn't here before. I actually added this on and had to figure out a way to glitch a wall. I wanted it 1.5 walls high, and I figured out how to do that. So I'd have enough room to drop in a robot station. And then any extra space I just use for storing power frames and extra power armor. I put a bed over there because I was working down here so much trying to redo it that I would just run down here and sleep. Okay, that's that. Yeah, door number 1's open. Go ahead and close it. Now this is where I put all my miscellaneous stuff in the inventory. There's a miscellaneous section, and I've got holotapes and notes and knickknacks, and I just kind of sort them. These are all holotapes, or these are notes, ID cards, holotapes, I think, and then miscellaneous stuff. And here's 2 terminals, and then a desk for storing all my extra junk. Maintenance and turret access. A sink I threw in because every workshop needs a sink, gotta wash your hands. Okay, so I put this in because I wanted access to the conduits. For the most part, I don't run conduits inside the house. I place them under the floor, so I can power things that way, unless I have to have a conduit, but I haven't so far, so I just drop one under the floor where I'm going to put lights or whatever. And then this lower section is access to all the turrets, so I can repair them if they get hit. I built it just long enough so I can access all the turrets. I put some slabs in a few places because if I start getting shot at while I'm down here, at least I can take cover. As opposed to these where I can't take cover. And the house, I was trying to figure out what to do with. I don't know why I did the door this way. I was having trouble with Oh yeah, every time I bring a companion here, they'd wander in here and start messing with my stuff. So I didn't want them in here, so I put in a dual switch door and glitched in some Vault-Tec windows up top so I could make up for the extra space, because all these are barn walls, which means they're higher than a standard wall. This is a kitchen, which I haven't done too much with. I just wanted to have a nice kitchen with a wonderful view. So I got the stove and some stuff on the walls. Coffee pot. Need to put some patio furniture and plants out here at some point. And then this is the roof access. One of the reasons I kind of built it this way is I wanted to have kind of a long hallway with lights, you know, something you'd see in the Haunted Mansion. I don't know if any of you have ever been to the Haunted Mansion at Disney, but I just like these long halls you gotta walk down. Okay, this is the living room. This is my display room, which is kind of small right now. I'm going to work on a way to try to expand it because I'm running out of room. There's the junk jet, which I really don't want to carry around and use. I have to use it at some point just to see what it's like. Violent harpoon gun, the broadsider that shoots cannonballs, my collection of bobbleheads. Most of these weapons aren't particularly powerful. They're just weapons that are either made or used at the beginning of the game, so I just kind of wanted to have a place for them. This is some stuff I've collected in the game. Interesting artifact gun, flare gun. That was the one that Preston gave me. Bits and pieces of a mini nuke, a spacesuit. What is that? Oh, it's a Minuteman. It's a general's uniform. Okay. This is the, oops. This is a railroad uniform. The mascot head, I didn't know where else to put it, and this wasn't wearing a hat, so I just dropped it there. This is silver, let's see, silver shroud, yeah. And then, I believe that's my first Vault-Tec uniform. That was my first combat knife. I modded it as best I could. And this is probably where I'm going to extend the display room to. I just have every place has to have a bathroom, so. And I haven't done much in here. I just dropped in some basic facilities. This is the guest room. That's why I have a public bathroom. Another thing that's never used, but I thought it would be cool to just have one. This is my room. I used to have most of these objects sitting up here, but the mesh is so thin that after a few times of fast traveling here, everything just fell on the floor. So, and imagine these robots will fall through that desk on the floor at some point, but oh well. Walk-in closet. Haven't done anything with that yet. Private bathroom. Haven't done anything in here either. And that's Kingsport. Alright, I need to start dropping some conduits around these rooms so that way I have access to power. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Wi-Fi glitch 2 conduits. One for each floor, and then I think I'm going to string wires around from those conduits to other conduits. Alright. So highlight the wire. This is how Wi-Fi glitch works. True wire glitch, you highlight the wire and select your item for wiring, and then you just highlight your next item and run a wire to it. But with Wi-Fi glitch, you keep the wire highlighted that you just used and then pick your next object. In this case, I'm picking this conduit here because it's powered. So doing that obviously creates a wire between the two, but if I pull this wire, it's actually powered now. I'll check it real quick. Yeah, so it's powered. So what I can do is I can grab this conduit, and then place it somewhere. I'm not sure how well this is going to work. So I got the beds up against the wall, and I know wires don't like running through things. No, that ain't working. Maybe just put it up there. Yeah, it doesn't like that either. Maybe what I can do, put it up here. Use a ceiling conduit. Yeah, I might have to do that. Like I said, I could Wi-Fi glitch all these conduits and make it look nice, but I don't want to confuse the game. More ceiling conduits. See in the middle. Right about there. Alright, let's just wire those up. I don't like that those wires are so low. These are fine, but these aren't. So I'll drop in a couple extra conduits. This right there is about the middle. Oh, no. Bring this out a little bit. I want to put 2 here. that power is coming from. There must be a conduit nearby or something. There. All right. I don't know if those lights or those conduits will move up this far. Ooh, I might get lucky here. Always wanted to be a bartender that had floodlights shining right in my face all day long. But since I can't, I can work out my fantasy in here. See? Alright, so now I gotta run some conduit stuff up here. I know what I need to do. Let's see. Let's put one right here. I think just to have all my bases covered, I'm going to put one there, there, there. So I've got one wireless conduit right here, which is plugged into all the other ones. Just below the roof. And there, that light's on now. Now, the other thing I'm curious about, or I always like to have ceiling fans in the commissary / casino. And I'm wondering if they'll work from that far away. Ooh, looks like it. That's great. Okay. The next thing I want to lay down are some slot machines. Just got to figure out how I'm going to do that. Usually what I do on the other settlements is I just run a set of slot machines here, a set of slot machines here. I'm just kind of close to the opening here, which I really don't care for. So I think I know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put a conduit on the ground. I'll just use that one actually. No, I don't want to use that one. I mean, I want to use that one, I just don't want to do it that way. So I'm going to go here. Alright, so wire. Okay. Now this should be working. Yep. Alright. So I'm going to put this conduit right there. A floor plug, so to speak. Go over to resources, vault, slot machine. Okay. One thing I wish these things would do is snap together, but they don't. I don't even know why it's giving me that problem there. Alright, how are all those lined up? Not great. Oh, that's good enough for gambling. I think that's my provisioner. Yeah. This is a limitless potential laser rifle. Wow, you did a pretty good job against those. Oh, well, there's two of them, or I don't know. I usually like to arm my provisioners pretty heavily so they can take care of themselves in a fight. And I always give them yellow flight helmets so I know they're mine. Guess I'm done with this for now. Okay, so I've got what? About 10 slot machines set up? 9. Alright. I usually set up 2 rows, but I'm running a little bit out of time here. So I'm just going to go ahead and get these hooked up. I don't know if these are working. Settlers are going to spend a lot of time up here. They love slot machines. One other thing I want to do real quick, just so you get an idea of what I like to do. Get these dirty white tables. Start making some nice comfortable places for the settlers to sit down and sip on their beer. One thing I do is I'll go and I'll sit in each of these chairs to make sure they're sittable, that they're not too close to each other, or not, nothing's in the way. I'm not going to do that now, but it is something I do. I'll just sit in all of them real quick. Take some time. That's not what I'm going to do in this video. Okay, cool. So that's done. Add a couple more ceiling lights. Okay. Alright, so that's all I'm going to do right now. Got a halfway decent setup going on here. Just need to run some railing along these balconies and some guard posts. Figure out what I want to do with that roof there. I believe I added roof access, didn't I? Or did I not? Oh, I did not. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, I did. It's just upstairs. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I'm going to move the greenhouse up here, put the garden up here. So I'll run a perimeter fence. Probably where you see my reticle, probably around there. Just to keep the enemy far enough out where they're targeted by the turrets. I definitely have to do that here because they're always coming in here and the settlers are always running straight out to meet them. So I do it for two reasons. One, to keep the enemy from rushing the base and to keep the settlers from running head-on into the enemy. It works pretty well, especially if you're using missile turrets, because I've lost a settler because she ran into the enemy and then was hit by multiple missiles. At least I think that's why I lost her. So I just started making perimeter fences to kind of keep them separate from each other. So it gives the turrets an opportunity to work first. Alright, so that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.